What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming to you today with a bit of a different video. I'm actually going to be taking time today to wish you guys a happy new year and thank everybody for what was a pretty awesome 2015 on YouTube. Now, I started YouTube this year back in about February or March. I don't really remember. It was kind of just on a whim at first. I didn't really know how good I was going to do on YouTube or if I was going to keep on doing it. It was just something I really had wanted to try for a long time. So really was a lot of fun experience this year. I learned quite a bit. I got to pick up some new skills with regards to using the computer and video editing software and whatnot. So that was pretty cool. But most importantly, I got to talk to a lot of cool people in the gaming community and basically become a part of this whole YouTube madness. Now, it was never really my goal to become like big on YouTube or become a YouTube sensation or any of that stuff. So, I don't really worry too much about the numbers or anything, but just to kind of look back this year, I started my channel, like I said, back in February or March. I don't really remember because this year's kind of flown by. It's kind of a blur. But in the year I've been on YouTube, I managed to get almost 1,400 subscribers, which I think is pretty cool, especially since I don't really self-promote at all, really. I just don't see any need to do it. I don't really want to grovel to get subscriptions and views and things. I don't really see the point of it, but, I'm just doing this for fun. Like I said, my goal is not to do this for a living. It's not to get famous and get big on YouTube. I just like to get on here and voice my opinion, have some commentary and talk with other people in the gaming community and just have some discussion. Whether or not you agree with me all the time is not a big deal. I just really, like I said, like to get my viewpoints out there and talk about things and just have a good time, and especially like to hold those gaming companies accountable who continue to try to screw gamers over with their really poor business practices. So just wanted to get on, guys, and again say thank you for 2015. It's been a really fun year, learning the ins and outs of YouTube, really figuring out how to make videos, trying to learn how to make intros, and just make better, continue improving on quality and other things is the main thing. And that's going to be kind of my focus for 2016. I'm not going to go into a big plan for what I'm going to do next year because I don't really have a plan for this. I kind of wing it. I kind of just make the videos I want to make. I don't have a set game that I stick to. It's just kind of a gaming channel, a commentary channel, real life channel, whatever you want to call it. I kind of do a whole lot of things. So that's pretty much it. But I'm going to be trying to get some new equipment for 2016. I did get a brand new PC, which is great. It really allowed me to transfer all my video making and game capture over to a desktop, which has just been a lifesaver. I was using my laptop before. It wasn't exactly the greatest machine for doing game capture. Kind of limited my, what I could do in terms of recording specs, and also doing things like having a webcam, face cam, whatever you want to call it, and just doing a lot of different things. There was only so much it could do. It was very, had a good processor in it, but overall very limited machine. So now I have a much better desktop. My other one kind of kicked the bucket, so I went ahead and spent a decent amount of money and got a pretty good computer. Still going to upgrade the graphics card, but overall it's been performing very well. I've been having a lot of luck making my new videos. It seems that Elgato has also sorted out their issues with their gaming software, so I haven't been getting the audio problems and the sync issues that I was having before. So now with the new hardware on my new computer, I'm actually able to pretty much record at full 1080p, 60 FPS all the time, which is really good. I've noticed a little bit of an and kind of a jump up in the quality of the video, at least the video quality, at least in my videos. So that's been pretty cool. My next thing really is to try to find a decent mic. The mic I'm using right now is a Logitech that I bought for like 50 bucks. It was kind of a budget purchase, and I think it sounds okay. I don't think it sounds spectacular by any means, but I think it sounds pretty good compared to what else is out there. But I really would like to get a better mic for doing my videos. One of the problems I do have is I'm in kind of a very small area, and there are next door neighbors, and we have a lot of people that live. There's 2 people that live here with me, and we also have 2 cats, and that can be a bit of a problem because my cats, for some odd reason, whenever I'm making videos, they like to come check out what's going on. And what they'll do is they'll jump up in front of the TV and they'll start meowing and making noise, and it can get really annoying when I'm trying to record something. So I kind of have to stick with using using the headset mic because it's a lot easier. I don't have to worry about other people hearing me when I'm talking, and I can be a little bit more quiet with this. Whereas an open mic is really going to pick up everything in the room, everything in the house, and also the animals. So if I'm able to eventually get a better enclosed space, then I might switch over and start using an open mic, might pick up a Blue Yeti or something like that. But for right now, I kind of got stuck with a headset mic. So what I've been looking for is I'm trying to find a decent one that's actually got really good audio quality, and if I have to spend a little bit of money on it, that's no big deal, but that's what I'm currently shopping for. So if you guys have any suggestions, and I'm not looking to buy like a gaming headset, I just want to get something that's going to have pretty good audio quality. That's what I'm currently going to look for. It's going to be hopefully the next improvement I can make for my channel. Also going to try to learn a little bit better video editing software this year, maybe. But really, like I said, I'm not trying to make too many huge plans. It's just this is for fun mostly, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of money on things. But I do want to continue to improve the quality of the videos and the content that I'm putting up. So that's definitely something that is on my mind and something that I'm looking for. In terms of 2016, gaming-wise, I hope 2016 is going to be a good year. For gaming. 2014 was kind of hit and miss. I'm sorry, 2015. My God, I'm getting old. I can't remember what year it is anymore. But 2015 was kind of a hit and miss year. There were some really great games that came out this year, but also some really crappy games and some really crappy business practices that seem to take over the industry. Activision is really just leading the way with its microtransaction bullcrap and its limited content games and DLC that's just very lackluster for full price. And unfortunately, I see a lot of other games that are going in this direction. The AAA companies, I did a video a while back, you guys hopefully watched, about how I think AAA companies are just doing it completely wrong. They're so concerned with with marketing and making all this money off advertising hype, and instead of just making a good game and concentrating on making a good game, they're just trying to market these games to the hilt. And I really think that approach is not working out, because a lot of the AAA games that have been coming out in the last couple of years have really been lackluster and really been disappointing, and that's a trend I hope to see reversed in 2016. I hope some of these AAA companies really step up their game, start making a game that's good, that's going to sustain us with decent content instead of just hyping us up on advertising and in-your-face marketing campaigns, and I hope they start making some better games, because right now the indie developers, the smaller studios, are really kicking the crap out of the AAA companies when it comes to putting out games that are value for your money, with good content, good story, everything else. So I really want to see the AAA companies step it up. I don't think that they will, because I don't really have a lot of faith in a lot of these corporations, because it's very apparent that, especially companies like Activision and Electronic Arts are just in it to milk the customer for as much money as they can. At least it seems like that. I know people are like, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist, but I think if you look at their practices and their behavior over time, and it's something I stress in a lot of my videos when I'm talking about certain games and certain companies, is look at the track record. You can always tell what the track record is. It's there. It's there for you to look at. If you choose to ignore it, that's your own thing. But if you look at the track record, oftentimes that's going to tell you what you can expect in the future. So just from looking at a lot of these companies, especially Activision, you can kind of see what their MO is and the way they're going. That having been said, I still am excited for a couple of games in 2016. There's some games I am looking forward to. Number one, obviously, is going to be Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm really looking forward to that game. I hope it's really good. I really hope they get it right. I have a lot of faith in BioWare, because most of the time BioWare has done a pretty good job with most of their games. I've enjoyed BioWare games largely over the time I've been playing video games. Whether it's the Dragon Age Inquisition or Knights of the Old Republic, even Star Wars The Old Republic MMO a little bit, and of course the Mass Effect series. I've always had a good time with BioWare games. Even if the game has been a little disappointing, there's always a lot of content to play. There's a lot of stuff to keep you busy, a lot of replay value. And BioWare has made some of the best DLCs I think I've ever spent my money on. And I'm not a person who hates DLC altogether. I think if the DLC is worth it and worth your money, it adds a lot of quality content and replay value to the game, then I really don't have much of a problem actually paying for DLC as long as it's decent. And I think BioWare's made some absolutely incredible DLC. Whether it's the Mass Effect 3 had some really good DLC. Actually, the Citadel DLC is one of probably the best DLCs I've ever played and spent my money on. Dragon Age Inquisition has had some very enjoyable DLC that I've been playing through. It adds a lot of replay value to the game. It adds a lot of extended playtime to the game. That's valuable, enjoyable playtime. So I hope we see a little bit more of a trend like this year. If we're going to keep getting all this DLC, I hope these companies would start making a better effort with their DLC. Maybe even putting some of it out for free, like 343 Studios has been doing, and CD Projekt Red, obviously, with The Witcher. They're doing some really cool stuff with their DLC. So it's going to be interesting 2016. But like I said, definitely looking forward to Mass Effect Andromeda. That's probably #1 on the list. I've been, waiting for a new Mass Effect game ever since I finished Mass Effect 3 the first time. And I continually replay the series as it is a lot. I've played through all the games 3 or 4 times. I really do play a lot of the multiplayer, as you guys know from watching my channel. It's probably one of my favorite multiplayer games is Mass Effect 3. And I am very much looking forward to Mass Effect Andromeda. There's a couple other games I'm looking forward to this year, especially for sci-fi, and one of those is the Solus Project, which is kind of a survival, single-player survival game. At least that's what it looks like from what I've seen so far. That looks pretty cool. Definitely going to check that out. We should be getting some news on that game soon. I believe they're going to start in Xbox One, gets early access to that, and they're going to allow you to play the game before it actually comes out. They're going to do like a preview demo where you can play the game as it's in its development stages, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty neat. Obviously, No Man's Sky. That's a game I talked about a lot last year. Very disappointing that it didn't wind up coming out in 2016. I still think there were some problems with its development or some issues between Hello Games and Sony or something. I just think it's, I don't think Hello Games is a company that would want to screw people out with the hype and then not deliver a product. So it's interesting why it got pushed back so far all the way to June of 2016. But I kind of jumped off the hype bandwagon and the hype train with that game when we just didn't get any news last year. It became pretty apparent that they were trying to, they really wanted to keep people in the dark. They don't want to give away too much with the game. And that's kind of annoying some of the people who were excited for it. So I hope we get a lot more news and a lot more openness from Hello Games and Sony in 2016 about No Man's Sky, especially before it comes out. Because it's a game I think is going to be pretty cool and pretty innovative, but at the same time I see it as a game that could also be very disappointing if it doesn't live up to the massive amounts of hype they've kind of generated for it. Because a lot of people are looking forward to it. It's a very interesting game they're trying to make in terms of just the amount of sheer content and stuff to do in it. So they've definitely got a lot on their plate for this year, and I hope we get a lot more news from them regarding No Man's Sky. It's a game I'm definitely gonna watch closely, and I would like to probably get it when it comes out, because I'm definitely all, I love those sci-fi games. I love the exploration type games, so that's going to be pretty cool. I'm also hoping we get a little bit more news on some games that probably aren't coming out in 2016, but hopefully we'll get some more light shed on them. And one of those is going to be Cyberpunk 2077. I'm actually doing a video on that. That's a game that's going to be coming out from CD Projekt Red, which they are working on. They have confirmed they're working on it. They gave us a bit of a teaser trailer back in 2012, but we haven't heard too much about it. It's actually based on an old sci-fi RPG pen and paper game that I used to play, called Cyberpunk, and it was pretty cool. It's kind of like a Blade Runner type setting, Ghost in the Shell if you guys watch anime. It's a pretty cool themed universe, and it looks like they're, they made The Witcher 3, obviously, which had a very deep and expansive universe that was pretty cool. So I think it's going to be pretty awesome to see what they can do in a different setting in a sci-fi game, especially since you're going to have customizable characters and classes, and it may be similar to an MMO, but I think it's right up CD Projekt Red's alley to put out a game like this. I think they're perfect for it. I think they're going to do a really good job, and I hope we see a little bit more news about that game coming up in 2016. Another game that I'm sort of cautiously optimistic about is Titanfall 2. Now, some people are probably like, God, why would you be optimistic for that game, as much as you are fed up with first-person shooters? The reason is I really think that they've learned quite a bit from the first game and how disappointed people were in it. And I think you're going to see them really make an effort to make Titanfall 2 much better. And the reason I'm sort of optimistic about Titanfall 2 is I really had a good time playing Titanfall 1 when I did play it. The reason I quit playing Titanfall was I just didn't feel like there was enough customization. I didn't feel like there was enough progression and really enough content to keep me interested in the game for a long time. Now, I know they did come in and did a lot of DLC and stuff after the fact, and they did it for free, and that was pretty cool. But by that point, I was pretty much fed up with the game. I hadn't been playing it much, and I know a lot of other people had already left the game at that point. So I think they're going to do a much better job with Titanfall 2. I think they learned from their mistake of not having the large single-player component of the game. I think they're seeing a lot of feedback from some people with other games like Star Wars Battlefront, where they're just, why is there no campaign? Why is there no single player? You can't forget about the single player experience. That's a trend I also hope goes away this year, is that we see a lot less of that, because I'm tired of seeing a lot of these companies just completely ignore the single player component of games. You know, it's this big focus on multiplayer now, and that just drives me insane. Especially, you know, a game like Star Wars Battlefront, which had this potential for such a great campaign, possibly, especially with the graphics and the gameplay of that game. You know, it was really disappointing they decided not to do a campaign. So that's a trend I hope also goes away in 2016, but we'll see. I don't know. But definitely looking forward to seeing what comes out about Titanfall 2. When Titanfall first came out, I thought it was a great game. I thought it was very innovative in terms of the movement system. I think besides, you know, I do give Destiny a lot of crap, but I always give Destiny a lot of compliments for its movement system and just the gameplay and how easy and smooth it is. I really feel that Titanfall was the best game in terms of a first-person shooter or a PvP shooter in terms of its movement. It felt so smooth. It felt so free-flowing. Whether you're talking about the parkour or the jetpacks or whatever you were doing, it just felt really, really good. Now, if you, you know, the problem I had was I played Titanfall, and then every other first-person shooter I played just seemed to be really slow and clunky. Like Halo 5 feels like you're running in mud. You know, it has a similar movement system, but it just feels really slow and awkward sometimes compared to Titanfall. Destiny, again, like I said, very good movement system in that game, but I felt like Titanfall's was a little bit better. And, you know, when I go play Call of Duty, I tried to play Call of Duty, it's like, again, you just feel so clumsy and slow when you're trying to do the boost and the jumps and the jetpacks and everything. So I really hope that they get Titanfall 2 right, because I think Titanfall 2 could be one of those games that kind of gets us out of this stagnant environment we're in with the first-person shooters. So that's something I'm looking forward to in 2016. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be an interesting year for gaming. And, of course, I'll keep you guys up to date on all the other stuff going on with me, because I usually like to keep you guys kind of apprised of what's going on in my real life, too. So I'm hoping 2016 is going to be a little bit better year, personally, since in 2015 we had all the issues with staying employed and the job market being kind of bad and just having a tough time with that. But I've managed to get in a pretty stable spot now, and I'm having a good time with work and really enjoying my coworkers. I got a lot of good people I'm working with, so I'm having a lot of fun. So I'm going to continue to do the YouTube thing. I don't know how my schedule is going to be after the holidays. My retail job is probably going to drop off a little bit, which is good. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more time on the weekends, a little bit more time during the week just in general to make videos. It's kind of hard now. I'm kind of limited to just doing 1 or 2 a week, which I guess is okay. I seem to be getting a little bit more, there seems to be a little bit more engagement from the community. So getting a lot more comments and things, which is great. I love talking to you guys about games. I love, you know, hearing different viewpoints, even if we don't always agree. It's great to hear from everybody. So I've rambled on long enough, guys. I hope you guys have a happy new year. I hope you guys have much success and happiness in this coming year. I want to thank you guys again for watching the channel, watching the videos, and always being around to make comments and things. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun journey to be here and kind of hang out with you guys and get to know everybody and just have a good time chatting about things. And we'll keep doing it this year, and hopefully we'll see a little bit of an improvement in the gaming environment in terms of these AAA titles, and we'll see some gaming companies start to make some better games and take a little bit more of a direction like the smaller developers are going in, and just hopefully it's going to be a good year all around. Anyways, guys, thanks again for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, love to hear your comments. If you guys have any ideas for content you might want to see, if it's something that's feasible that I can try to do, I always tell people, you know, if there's something you want to see, especially when I'm doing the Mass Effect multiplayer stuff, if you want to see a particular character or build, or if it's a game that might be feasible for me to get, just let me know. I've been considering maybe playing some Warframe. I know a lot of you guys play it or have checked that out and told me about it, so I've played it off and on, but never really got into it, but I could maybe do a little bit of it on the channel. And I may try to do a little bit of Star Wars The Old Republic too, but if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to put them down. If it's a game maybe I can pick up, we'll see about it. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me again. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year, and I'll see you again next time.